Mike and Dylan hate drama.
Welcome back to another episode of Mike and Dylan hate drama. Where look, we have some actual submissions today. So,
thanks, K-Dog.
Yeah, K-Dog keeping Mike and Dylan hate drama afloat right now, and we just talk about life and stuff like that. It's honestly, super necessary for your life.
For your life.
Yeah, for the listener, because the things we talk about is going to help guide you to a better life. I say this allegedly so we don't get sued for someone taking our advice and then ruining their lives.
We're drinking some Strawberry Passion Wild Wonder today.
Oh, that's actually bussin'. That's actually really good. Yep.
Now you get to buy them from the plant store from now on.
It tastes like strawberry banana, though. It does taste like strawberry banana.
Yeah, I can see banana.
When you drink, I can hear it's like the movie style. I can hear it.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for my acting debut if you'll let me do it.
You had your acting debut in the short film festival.
I know, but you hated it the whole time.
What? Your acting? No, I loved it. I said I loved it. I thought I was going to hate it. If you guys can not tell, Dylan also shaved his beard, so I am now the second most handsome person on the podcast.
Only for 150 episodes so far.
No, just this episode started. He went from that he went from looking like a dad that gave good advice to now he's daddy. So I don't enjoy it.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm preparing for the next podcast that we got. Two Daddies Judging Baddies.
Yeah. Also, if you haven't seen that podcast, check it out. So I saw a video this weekend. So the way that Mike and Dylan hate dramas are recorded is that usually we do them a week ahead of time. So you're getting this one after Thanksgiving week, but we're just coming off the, Thanksgiving and everything happening. So this was, I'm pretty sure it was on Thanksgiving night, and I was watching one of 1,000 videos I've seen about manifestation in the universe. And they're doing the whole, if you believe it hard enough, it'll come true and whatever. And the whole comment section's like, yes, I'm manifesting and, manifesting all this stuff. Which had me thinking about magic, okay? Like actual magic, not Magic the Gathering, just magic, in life magic. So if I have an example for you, okay? Say it's a football team. And this football team, they struggled in the beginning part of the year, and then towards the later part of the year, they really start picking up steam, man. And maybe something happened. You know what I'm saying? They're believing in themselves, and you get the kind of Cinderella stories where a team that shouldn't be there is all of a sudden there. And people will be talking about man, there's just there's something magic about this team. Now, when you think of magic, like casting spells and shit like that, yeah, I'm not sold that ever was a thing. It could have been, sure. I don't fucking know.
They were better at manifesting.
Yeah, they were better at manifesting. I've only been around since 1992. I can't tell you what people in 1100 AD were doing. Maybe they were doing some kind of spells and shit like that. But I'm talking about it's that belief, the kind of the manifestation that people are talking about. Because when you have a team, if that team believes that just something that something's going on, destiny, it feels magic. When you go out there and play, I do believe it does give you that confidence and that belief in yourself. And once you start believing in yourself, it really does. It feels magical because you're out there, you throw a pass play. Maybe it's a little screen play that's behind the line of scrimmage. And then the wide receiver running back takes it for 50 yards, scores a touchdown. Not only does that mean that now, you're fuck yeah, the magic, this is destiny, everything's working out. But then the other team starts to believe that too. Maybe they're out there and they're trying to cover a wide receiver and they fucking trip and fall. They could either sit there and be like, damn, I fucked up on that player. That doubt starts to creep in. It's fucking, maybe this is magic. Maybe this is fucking destiny or some kind of outside force. And I do believe that just having a strong belief in yourself can create it does manifest. It creates that magic of it makes you work harder. It makes you you have more faith, you have more confidence in your abilities, and your opponents, enemies, adversaries, whatever, they'll start to believe that shit too, man. When that narrative when you have that narrative about yourself and something goes wrong for the other person, the other team, whatever, I do believe, like, in essence, magic and like manifestation in the universe is real like that. I don't know why I was could have been all them carbs hitting me at one time where I was just like, I do think that magic in a nutshell is a real thing.
I think the thing that people misconstrue with the manifestation thing is a lot of times when people think that they're manifesting things, they're actually manifesting the lack of something. And so they're always trying to go after something, which is the antithesis of what. So you end up manifesting more. And it's not that I think the key to manifesting is just positive attitude towards like whatever outcomes come your way. You're always looking for a silver lining rather than looking for, why it's bad, why it's not trustworthy. And I think that's really where most people fail on the manifesting thing, is because they end up manifesting from a sense of lack. And that's why, ultimately that's what we're manifesting right now. We are, I think that's where we need to head towards, and not that it's manifestation as it's supposed to be, but I think we need to be focusing more so on the doing and the creating rather than the fact that we aren't doing and creating and making, and that will solve the problem of the money coming behind it.
Right. And I think that's the difference between manifestation and wishing.
Yeah.
There's a difference between saying like, I'm manifesting success. I'm waking up early every day, going to bed late, putting everything I got into something, and then someone just sitting on their ass going, I'm manifesting $5 million. That's wishing. You are wishing for something. And I think when you put in that work and you continually, it starts to stack up with like the little wins and everything like that. And, things start rolling. It's where it's kind of just like, fuck, I can do this and I can make something work. So.
Yeah. So this is the Monday after Thanksgiving break. And we didn't take last week off per se. I still was in here 3 out of the 4 days, or 3 out of the 5 days. And Mike was in here
2 days.
2 out of the 5 days.
After we said we were going to take the whole thing off, and then we were just like, we got to do stuff.
But so I texted Mike yesterday. Yesterday was Sunday, and I was like, hey man, got to get some sleep. Because normal Mike Monday is he's still like fucking binging from the weekend. Right. And so Sunday he doesn't sleep at all because he's on night shift mode. And I think that's what happened 2 weeks ago. And I was like, Mike, you got to sleep. And he's like, how about I come in with 36 hours and you just wing it? And I was like, no, go to bed.
That's what Mike would do on a Monday. But no, I knew after taking some days off last week, which sucked too, because me and Dylan constantly talked about how we wanted to be in the studio making stuff.
That's literally the whole time that I was sitting around, the days that I wasn't, like, other than Thanksgiving proper and then Friday, I can't remember what was going on, but like Saturday and Sunday I was hanging out with my daughter and it was awesome. But I was like, man, what can I do on Monday to get going?
It's just kind of that like, fuck, I'm letting everything pass by me, where you can enjoy the time off. And I do think the time off does rejuvenate. But, sitting there, it's just like, fuck, I could be doing this. I could be doing this right now. So,
well, ultimately I saw a couple things that like went through watching a few of the shows and movies and stuff that I watched over the break. It was just like, we can go ahead and start working on a movie. Like we could just start now and just get going, because I don't think it's going to take us a couple times of doing it anyways to get everything to the proper level, where if we had investment and we had all the people and all the system built around us, like we could still execute. But I think we still need to start the process of just getting one knocked out.
I ain't going to name drop anybody in this situation, in this meeting, or just hanging out with somebody that you had. But Dylan was hanging out with somebody, and this is a guy who's pretty much just always been interested in the stuff that we do. But he has a friend who is in the movie industry. So now he's going to set up a meeting for us to, Dylan's like, hey, like, it's fun. It's fun to do the 48-hour film festival. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like something we're doing. And in kind of like the confounds of the studio, it's us. You know what I'm saying? And then Dylan's just like, I'm sitting us down with somebody big in the industry and be creative, Mike. And I was like, fuck. Like, I got so fucking nervous when you brought that up. I didn't even want to think about it.
Well, no, it's just a discussion. Like, and that's the thing, is it's not, there's no active. Like we are not actively, but ultimately we need to get our, series figured out, get it all. We started really strong, and then by having to do a lot of the other things that we have to do to make a living,
Right.
we've had to kind of push it to the side. But right now, we have Harrison in there editing clips and stuff like that. So if we can get everything kind of ramped up to where we can keep him busy, we can do what we need to do. Then we can start working.
We're going to get
towards
Harrison on a couple podcasts too.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, him and Matt both have wanted to come by and
They got
shoot
good
the shit about.
personalities too, so I think they got
Yeah.
things to add.
Well, and they're younger, so they
Right.
have a different timeline and perspective.
They can
from
hear
what
us
we do.
say our old jargon and advice and be like, "That sounds stupid. That sounds dumb." It is. We do come from. It does feel like once you hit like a 10-year separation, it feels like a different time. It feels like a completely different time. I just hate how like people from Gen Z will be like, "We're the last generation to spend our childhood out." No, the fuck you weren't. Like every single millennial and every millennial I know, we were outside until I'm gonna say everybody was outside until around
we didn't
2005,
have
2006.
computers, we didn't have tablets, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have any of that, and so like there was only outside. Like I mean, I guess we had video game systems, but I didn't have.
But
them.
it wasn't
And
like
so-
it wasn't like you would go to somebody's house and you would spend all day in their house playing video. You go play some fucking 007 GoldenEye. And then you go ride bikes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I hate Gen Z claiming that. Gen Z, man, they get away with too much stuff. Okay. They did. They made a lot of people popular that probably should not have been popular.
Well, that's like Gen X claiming that they're the last latchkey kids. Like the elder millennials were the true last of that.
I think millennials just altogether, because it was still the 90s too,
Yeah.
That's because I was born in 92. So, early 2000s, we were all out, bicycles, fucking doing crimes in other cities and stuff like that while our parents were just you get back home and it's just like, "Oh, how was your day?" And it's like, fine, I just burnt down half a forest, but I'm saying I'm at home now, so
Nobody knows about it. You're not going to see this on Facebook about the thing burning up the road.
Yeah, we still had a couple cameras, but there weren't a lot of cameras outside of businesses and stuff, so they didn't. It's not like today where it's like, well, we pinged your friend's cell phone, so we know exactly you guys were here in this location. Nope, you could just burn down half a forest, and the fire department would be like, "No, it's just some kids out here about being stupid."
I remember when I was like 15, I was leaving one of my older friends' houses. So like that kid that used to get me in trouble all the time, his older brother was probably like 6 years older than him, and so probably 6 years older than me. He was like 21. I was like 15. And so he had his own apartment and we got drunk up there. We were just hanging out. And then on the way by, he lived near the grocery store, the tiny little grocery store in my town. And they had their little smoking section out there. So they had like plastic lawn chairs and like a table and stuff. And we just walked straight through town we just picked him up and just walked straight back to my house. And then I think about 3/4 of the way back to my house, I was like, I can't bring these back to the house. I'm going to get in trouble. So we just tossed them in the ditch and kept walking.
And yeah, that fucking business is just like, we don't have any kids. Like, fuck.
Yep. No cameras, no nothing. Couldn't tell where their shit went.
I saw a video, and it is a funny thought that you could just be walking down like the road or something like that, and or walking across a bridge or whatever, or on a path, and just remember that this world is open world, and you could just cut straight through the woods.
Yep.
And it's a guy who's like remembering that it's open world, and he's walking down this, like, it's got not like a gate, but it's like a short little thing, that lines up with the path.
Yeah.
And he just steps over it and just cuts through the woods.
Yeah.
And if you remember that, dude, you could just do anything. You can, theoretically, it doesn't matter if something's illegal, or you could do anything you want to do. You might go to jail, but
Yeah.
you're free to do whatever.
Well, and that's the funny thing is now, everybody's got a Ring doorbell. They've got those, what's that camera that's everywhere? Like they park them in like Lowe's parking lots, and
I don't know.
It's some sort of like surveillance system. But like now you hardly go places that you're not being recorded. So yeah, if you were a kid like cutting through somebody's yard, you could do it all day long, and unless they were looking out the window at the time, you'd be fine. But now somebody's going to be like, these kids were cutting through my yard. Were they up to something bad? And it's like, no, they're just fucking taking the shortcut. But now that there's a Ring camera that's like, boop, boop, somebody's walking through your yard. Now but for years, people used to just dip in and out of everything.
I always think like if I was around during like the early 1900s, late 1800s, you could, if you were smart, you could get away with everything. Like you could just go to one town and be like, hey guys, I'm starting this thing where if you donate, a couple $100, I turn it into millions, and you could just leave. You could just leave. If you got a beard, cut your beard. Like all it is a sketch of you. Like that sketch looks nothing like me. That guy has a beard, obviously. Look at that. This guy is obviously a drawing.
Or you put on a fake beard while you do it, and then you you put on a fake beard afterwards and be like, I couldn't grow a beard in a week.
Imagine you got some makeup and just put some like nobody. You could easily hide who you are. I'd been robbing I've been doing everything.
Those are the crypto bros of the past.
Or fuck yeah. We could do all this stuff. But once they left, there's no digital footprint. There's no footprint. It's just they're gone. And it's like, well, what did he look like? Tell Roger right there. Roger's going to
draw
him up, and he's like, that's a stick man. That's the best I could do, brother. Just start hanging this around town. If we didn't have artists, we'd be truly fucked back then.
Yeah, I mean they were pretty good at sketching a little wanted poster. Do you want me to start, or you want to?
We got 2 submissions from K-Dog, keeping Mike and Dylan hate drama alive.
And if we listen to all the call-ins, also Ricky is still keeping us alive on that front too. But we have canceled the call-in feature.
Yeah, it's just a lot, and it's hard to play and then dub over. And
it sounds just as bad like when I download it. As it is.
Theo Von and all them got that shit figured out.
Well, once we get to live streaming, maybe we can do better call-ins.
Yeah, we do have a little thing that'll switch the cameras around, so that'll be dope.
Do you want to go first? Do you want me?
No, you can go first.
All right. Title: Some really stupid thoughts any normal person wouldn't have. K-Dog here. Just a couple debates me, my brother, and friend have been having for probably a few decades. I'd like to hear your thoughts. First thought, should a submarine really be called a submarine? I say no because sub means under, marine means water. The submarine is not under the water, it is in the water. Under the water would be under the ocean floor or ground. Would it be floor or ground? Because it's not only a floor, or it's not really a floor. And by definition, it is not ground either. Ground is defined as a solid surface of the earth, firm, dry land, where submarine. It's a subsurface or sub-sea level or sub-horizon. So the question is, what would a more proper name for a submarine be?
We just got it. It says subsurface. It's the surface of the water. I like submarine.
I like submarine.
Yeah, I don't like it like in marine, like the between marine.
So my 4-year-old, soon to be 5-year-old, has a joke. Why was the shark blushing?
Why?
Because it saw the ocean's bottom.
That's good. It's cute. It's cute when a little kid says it, but then like Pawpaws will say it, and you're just like, there's another one. There's another Pawpaw joke. I love Pawpaw jokes.
Yeah,
I am like the one. I think I've told it on something. I'm pretty sure I've told it on something, but the one that's like, did you hear about the scientists that combined the DNA of a cheetah and a crab? Shit went sideways quick. That's so good, man. And that's like old Pawpaw jokes.
You did it at the beard comp.
I did do it at the beard contest. And that's what they would say right before they molested you, but they hit you with a banger before.
So the most fucked up one that I've taught my daughter so far was, did you hear about the constipated accountant?
No.
He couldn't budget, so he worked it out with a pencil.
Oh my God. So he worked it out with a pencil.
She does not understand what that means, but she's told it to my parents.
He couldn't budget. Imagine. Because she's with your wife a lot. Imagine just some unexpected person just be like, oh, what is constipated account? What is it? Worked. Oh, okay.
I heard that one on the radio when I was like 10.
Oh man. I don't. Now I'm trying to come up with a punny one, but yeah, no. I think the submarine one. I think that one's a good name.
So the one that my sister's told for shit, at least since we were like 12. Do you know how to catch a penguin?
No.
You cut a hole in the ice and put a pea next to it, and when he goes to take a pee, you kick him in the ice hole.
That's pretty good. I like that one. Kick him in the ice hole. That's pretty good. Now I'm trying to think of any I remember, but I don't fucking.
They're hard. Like I've got so many jokes that are just like left back in like the cobwebs of my brain that if I get the right like inspiration, I'll be like, oh, that one.
It was like 400 racist ones come to mind.
Not mine.
Which early childhood was a different time.
The bad ones for me were the dead baby jokes. Our friends told those like crazy when we were like in our early 20s.
You know, like what's the difference between a baby and a watermelon? One's fun to smash with a sledgehammer, the other's a watermelon. Like that stuff. Like those Chuck Norris jokes,
cringe humor from
early
way long ago.
2000s. Yeah, early 2000s humor was just stupid. It was just dumb. What's so funny too is like because people will be like, oh, racist joke. I went to a predominantly black school. This is where I was learning the joke from.
Yeah.
But they would just fucking, oh man. And when Chappelle Show came out, it was so many. Am I allowed to say, like, as a white person, the the part where he go woogie boogie? Now, I'm not saying the last part after that. I don't understand how, and I quote woogie boogie is racist. I don't understand that part. But bro, that's all. Like when a black kid got on the bus, they just get in your bus seat and say it right to you.
He would say it to you.
Yeah, fuck yeah. But I mean, that was a cultural phenomenon.
Yeah.
That was just that was our memes back then, was reciting Chappelle Show and shit. So
many good ones, literally from every episode. Doesn't matter.
I'm trying to remember one fucking punny joke that I know so many punny jokes, and then until someone says one, and then I have to. But if I'm just sitting down with like an accountant or something like that, I'd be like, I got 40 of them. But when I put on the pressure, like on the spot on a podcast,
it's my fault. Blame it on me.
Can't remember a singular one. Let's get more into K-Dog's submission.
All right, second question. So did you like Subsurface if we have to give up Submarine?
Right. No, I mean, it's a subsurface. I like Submarine.
Subsurface.
Because it's submarine.
Yeah, it's a marine vehicle.
Right.
So it's in marine.
Yeah.
All right. So second question. What's the difference between space and outer space? And how do you know when you've reached outer space and you're no longer in space? Is there like a specific altitude where it turns from one to the other? Speaking of space, is there direction in space? There's obviously north, south, east, and west because there are no magnetic poles in space. So then how do you know which way to go? Or explain which way you're going, which brings up another thing. Technically, the North and South poles aren't really the North and South poles. The North Pole is really the South Pole because the north part of the compass points towards it. So then the South Pole is really the North Pole.
I'm going to fuck you up, okay? I'm going to fuck you up with this one, okay? So if you get a telescope and you look into the sky and you see all the planets and shit like that, okay? Every rocket launch is like just like straight up, you know what I'm saying? But what about on the other side of the planet? Like the other side of the ball, where they're looking at the sky and you just go that way. That's what fucks me up.
What do you mean? It's still the sky. You can't see something from the other person's sky.
Yeah, but I get it. Okay, so you got a ball, okay?
Yeah.
Look at the ball. If you're down here
Yeah.
and you're up here, how do you see the same sky? Because you're looking.
You don't see the same sky.
Do you not?
No.
So they don't get to see all the planets and stuff like that down there?
Yeah, they see different ones. Like it's
Okay, but when you're in the sky and you got the North Star and the North Star is always there, they don't have the North Star.
Mm-mm.
They don't?
No.
And it's just a different sky? And then you go to space down that way. Like, or do they just like go this way and go up? I don't understand how any of that works.
So the only way that I really know how to explain it is technically when I was taking photos of the Milky Way, the galactic center.
You mean the creamy nougat center?
Exactly. In our summertime, it rises enough that we can see it really well. But then when wintertime comes, we can't see it. But then at that point in time, it is summertime in the southern hemisphere and they can see it. But I think they can see it like most always, but where it has to like technically rise for us in the summertime. And so they are seeing a different sky than we are seeing.
That's crazy. I never thought about that. Because they're seeing like the bottom sky.
Well, it's not bottom, but yeah, they're seeing
the bottom sky, yes. Or we're seeing the bottom sky. I don't know if are we pointed up or are they pointed down?
They're not, neither.
If we got a globe.
There's no up or down in the space, and this is kind of what they're bringing up.
I get what they're saying, but I don't fucking get it. I don't get it, and it scares me.
Okay, so you're on a ball. You can't see you can see, since we're not technically at the North Pole, if you were on the poles, it'd be like a completely opposite sky. But as you get closer to the equator, you're going to see a lot of the same.
I get that because you're kind of on the side, perching it, viewing out.
Yes, and so you'll see a lot of the same stuff. And the closer you get to the equator, like the equator would be able to see technically everything that everybody can see. But then as you go south, you can't. Yeah, but I mean, there's no up, there's no down. It's space. So
I think outer space is just a.
Well, I know deep space, but I don't know outer. Like outer space and space are the same term
for space.
Yeah.
Like instead of, we used to call it outer space instead of space, because it was outer our space. So, and then they just started calling it space. Space is such a crazy word. Space. Got to space.
What was the other thing that they brought up? Oh, the North Pole versus South Pole. The North Pole is definitely the North Pole. The magnetism of it, you can point. Like all that we're changing here is that we say that that's north, and yes, it is the South Pole of a magnet technically because that's where it's pointing towards. But really, a compass points both ways, doesn't it?
What do you mean?
It doesn't have like, it's not like a.
It's not one, yeah, it's a double-sided.
It's double-sided points.
So that way when it's pointing north, it's pointing south.
It's just lining up the poles.
Right.
So.
That's crazy. That I wonder who figured that out, that compasses work like that. Or that leaves and water work like that. I was like, fuck, man, every time we put one in here, it just points that way. Why? I don't know, we could use that. Like at first, they didn't know anything about the pole magnetics and shit like that. How do they know what direction was what, though?
They made it up. Because when nobody's defined it, you make it up.
Right,
that's just it.
It's that direction is north. We could be fucked up on directions. That could be west.
No, they defined it.
But we made it north.
They defined it.
But it could be west. You know what I'm saying? You feel what I'm saying?
No. Because they defined what.
But it could be west. That's what I'm saying. It could be. Like, it could be that direction. Like, north could be towards, North Carolina could be the north.
No.
You don't know.
Because when you define it, you get to make it up. The definitions.
That's what I'm saying. If I was a scientist, dude, like, this would be a Michaelopod. This would be
everything around your name.
Fuck yeah, there'd be so many things I would discover, and then you would know that I discovered it because it would be a Michaelodon.
So I had a third one, but for the life of me, I can't remember what the hell it was. I'm sure I'll remember in 5 minutes. He did not, because he did not send a new one. Also, I'd definitely give you the $1.5 million you want, but I don't have that kind of cash, so the best I can do is $1.50. When did we ask for
$1.5 million?
That's what I was wondering.
$1.5 million. That sounds like something I would say, though.
No, we want 3, so that we can then each have $1.5 million.
It's so funny too. Like they'll be like, and that story about this, and I'll just be like, I don't remember that. I don't remember what you're saying right here.
Well, we've done like 3 years of podcasts in like 6 months. Most people do a podcast a week, and we've done 5 to 7 podcasts.
Should we be doing that? A podcast a week? 1 podcast a week. Sounds nice.
It does.
If we get that. How many does Joe Rogan do?
Like 4 or 5.
What if his name was Ro Jogan?
You're just trying to fuck this whole reality right up, aren't you?
Right. Yeah.
West is north, and
when you
Ro
think
Jogan.
About it, look, that's what I'm saying, though. We got a ball, bro. If you're on a ball.
Did you wake up in a new reality from your last sleep when you did the drift theory? Did you wake up in a new one?
Maybe, but we got a ball, and all I'm saying is if I'm looking up on that ball and rockets launch on that ball, also they curve, all the rockets curve, but then because they could be going to where they want in space, you know what I'm saying? Like that's where I want to go up in there. Why they always do that? Why they always arc?
Because they're breaking the gravity of space. You can't just continuously go straight up.
Why not?
You're trying to basically get into the speed of getting into the speed of the Earth so that you're breaking that atmosphere. Like you can break out of the gravity by going.
All I'm saying is if I was like trying to explain what I thought my confusion was about the ball and looking up, and then someone was just like, because it's flat, I'd be like, fuck. So it is good to have rational people. We need to bring a flat earther on the podcast, like a true.
Hey, Harrison, do you like flat Earth?
Right. You a flat Earth guy, brother? Because we need, like, I want one that's written novels about it.
But then you'll be a flat earther by the end of it.
No, because because if they believe in flat Earth, they believe in a lot of crazy shit. So I'm gonna start steering them in different directions.
I saw a comedian. He was talking about conspiracy theories, and I guess there's a conspiracy theory about all the world leaders are married to men, supposedly. I don't know that one. I'll have to look into it. But then
It's all gay.
and then he was asking the audience, he's like, what are some other conspiracy theories you guys believe in? And then somebody said flat earth, and he's like, see, that one they made up just so that it makes all the rest of us look stupid. That one's the one that makes everybody else look like fucking crazy people.
That could.
But it's the one that they made up so that, you can
all the world leaders are. I know a world leader that sucked a dick, so maybe.
And he's not.
And I'm not talking shit. Look, shout out our first gay president.
Bi. He's bi.
Well, you don't know. It could be a beard. He did pay for a porn star, though. All I'm saying, though, is if I'm paying for porn stars, like, and I'm gay, like, I'm going to pay for the name. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not getting one of the fringe ones that you hear. One of the ones where someone's like, this is my favorite porn star. And you're like, who? And then you look at it like, oh. You know what I'm saying? Not like the one everybody knows.
Yeah, I never knew about her until the news came out about her.
I think I knew about her not from her work. There's just, look, and I'm not going to say, like, don't hear Mike say, like, the whole, like, the fake boob stuff. I like natural boobs. Mm-hmm. Now, by me saying I like natural boobs does not mean I don't like fake boobs. I will still, like, not, wow.
It's like asking if you want like a T-bone steak or a filet mignon. Like, they're still both steak.
Right. And good steak.
Yes.
And good steak. Where you get the fat guys with the big titties, that's more like the
chuck steak.
The chuck steak, where you don't necessarily want it, but it's there.
So. It's not even really steak, but they kind of
squeeze them together. Maybe shave the hair off of them, squeeze them together. I could work something out. So. All right, so we have another one from T-Dog.
K-Dog.
K-Dog. I wanted to say T-Dog just because of The Walking Dead. We stopped watching that, by the way.
Got burnout?
Nah. Well, Welcome to Derry came out. So we started watching that because we were pretty much waiting for Stranger Things. Have you watched Stranger Things yet?
Yeah.
So dragging ass. That's one thing I didn't want it to do.
Yes and no. Like, I mean, it didn't drag as much as I thought it was going to, and especially because the episodes are only about an hour long. So you were warning that they were all 2 hour long episodes.
I thought they were. I don't know who said that. I read it from somewhere that they were all 2 hours long. I think the reason it feels like it's dragging ass is because they've reduced the amount of plot lines. Like, they've reduced the groups being split up into all these different, where now I think we're just split up into two. I think it was two.
Yeah, because you have them fighting.
Don't do any spoilers because
well, if you're saying Stranger Things, they're fighting something.
Yeah,
they are fighting to do something.
Because you got some people in the Upside Down, and then everybody else I think is pretty much clicked up in the overworld. And I think it just feels a lot like I'm tired of the when they sit together and they talk. Look, we've already fleshed out the characters. Let's get to fucking action. I don't want to do flashbacks of Hopper's dead daughter for the third season. We've had flashbacks of her. Let's get to the meat and potatoes of what's going on.
Well, I do think it like rounds out his character more of like them connecting for series, like, because that's one thing is he's continuously, and I feel like it's a very parallel to kind of like The Last of Us with Joel and Ellie, but like they came together, they've had their little fights and stuff like that, but then they really need to figure out how to have those dynamics.
Have you watched The Last of Us season 2 yet?
Yeah.
How'd you like the relationship between Joel and Ellie?
I think they played it well, like, because she's a elder teen, and you go through that where it's just like you guys cannot get along with fucking jack shit. No matter what you try and do as a father or parental figure, you're always the bad guy that just like, you don't understand me. And then, I think they played it well.
I'm talking about season 2.
Yeah. What's wrong with season 2?
Joel dies the second episode?
Yeah. But like then you go back and get to see more. Like they do the flashbacks.
I didn't look. I already knew what was happening. And you played the Last of Us game, so I'm not even saying anything that fucking.
Yeah.
Man, I thought I was going to get you with something. God damn it. But yeah, I knew that it was I just not watched it. I enjoyed the first season.
No, they did a really good job.
I enjoyed the first game. I did not enjoy the second game.
Yeah, I didn't play the second one.
It just wasn't my. It won. I think it won Game of the Year. But it just wasn't my. I'm an antagonist whore. I'm sorry, or protagonist whore. I love the protagonist. If you ask me a show and be like, "Who's your favorite character?" It's probably the protagonist. There's not a side. I do like the whole, the following the character's journey. So yeah, I've not watched. I know he dies in the second episode, but I've not watched.
But see, Ellie is like ultimately the protagonist of the story
of the show,
and of the game. Like, I mean, yes, technically you are playing as Joel for most of it, but the thing is your mission is to get her, and she's the main character. Like, it's all based around her being immune, and so. And yeah, no, they did a really good job on the
Joel's
second
a very
season.
bad guy though, and I had somebody going to a kind of a dive on that. And I mean, I understand it. Like, he's going through all this, his daughter dies, and then it's like, hey, we could save the world right now, and he's just like, no, my personal.
I think that it was unfair for them to not let Ellie make that decision though. Like, it was they. Just were going to do it. They were just like, we got to do surgery on you, and we're just gonna fucking kill you. But they don't. And in what is it, Marlene or whatever? She's acting like, oh, that she's peaceful and that. Like, no, just tell the chick, like, do you want to do this or do you not? Like, it's up to you ultimately.
Right.
To like, we will most likely kill you in trying to create this cure. Is that something? And then, like, from Joel's perspective, like, you're just killing the kid.
And it's not even 100%.
No. And you're just killing her. Like, I've literally done all this to get her here and develop this bond and this relationship. And then without telling me, without telling her, you're just like, fucking, she's dead. And so, yeah, in that fucking, especially in that split second moment, no, I'm killing fucking everybody. Right. I just am. Like, sorry.
It's like, I'm fucking killing everybody. Yeah. I would too. But that is just like when you have, a bond with somebody, you're just like, I don't want to see you die for the good of people I don't fucking know. And that's the whole, when they talk about like, oh, there's a house fire and your kid's in one room, but you could save 16. Them 16 people are dying. That's my child. Like, that's, well, and I'm sorry, I don't know you guys.
The thing is with her though, is if you give her the option and she can have that discussion with Joel, like, I really want to do this, then it's her wishes versus you just dictating for her. We're going to kill you and we're going to try and make a cure. Hopefully it'll work. Like, no. Give the chick a chance to say, like, is there any other way we could do this? Could we possibly just do like a biopsy on any other part of my body than my fucking brain? But I think that's what makes the story what it is because Joel is that. They went into some of it, I think, it was in season 2, like talking about how his dad was, and his dad did like a little thing where he's like, I did better than my dad, and I hope you do better than me, and that's kind of like what. And then Joel ends up saying that line to Ellie as well, and I think,
well, Ellie is at a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to everybody else doing better than somebody.
What do you mean?
Because the world is in an apocalyptic state.
Yeah.
Where it was not for Joel and his father.
Yeah, but for him with her, like, he tried to do good with her in an apocalyptic state. Like,
right. But that's like a Tyrion Lannister type mindset where, his father almost destroyed their house. And then, he's very, what is it when, like, how people view you? He is very, like, what's the fucking word, Dylan? Help me out. You're just looking at me, smiling, like.
Well, yeah, because I'm just sitting here thinking, like, I am gonna have to watch Game of Thrones just so that I can fucking stay in your world.
Yeah, just at this point, I say don't watch it. Don't watch it because it ends so badly.
The hard part for me is how much time I get to watch things, and like, I watched The Last of Us, and people can judge me, but my 5-year-old watched it with me. Like, she played the video game with me. That's actually the video game that she wanted to play. And I was like, we probably shouldn't play this game. And she's like, I'm fine. The only time she turns away is when the zombies like actually like launch at you and attack. The rest of it she's cool with, but she does not like the zombies.
Started watching Welcome to Derry. It's buns, dude.
Isn't
It's so ass. It is, I want to say, the worst written show ever. And I posted this in the subreddit for Welcome to Derry. Now, understand this. When there is a subreddit for a show, it is not people discussing the show. It is fans of the show mindlessly having fun about the show or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So when you post your thoughts in there about the show not being good, I want to talk about some of the scenes. And I'm not going to say spoiler alert, dog. The show is ass. Like, I'm not going to say anything. You'd be like, fuck, I was waiting for that. I wanted to see that part. It's all dog shit. So episode 1, in the beginning of the show, you see a kid die. And you go through this whole episode of just actually boring slog, no character building. There's 0 character building in the whole show. 0 character building, and it's all boring. Like, if there are dull parts, that's where you're building characters. Like, you're building characters, you're peaking interest. Game of Thrones, for the first 5 seasons, was able to, without action, make a very good dramatic series because they're building characters. They have, all this suspense and stuff just tied into, like, everyday action, like, dynamics with the people. Welcome to Derry cannot do this. But so firstly, I guess he is the protagonist. His name is Leroy. So Leroy is like he's in the military and he's been sent to a base to test out a new airplane. At nighttime on the base, some guys in gas masks come in and they start beating him up with a pipe. And then they hold a gun to him asking for information about the plane. Well, his friend comes in and they thwart the gas mask men, and the gas mask guys run out. They're on a secret base. They run out, and Leroy and his friend just casually sit down and start having a discussion with each other.
Yeah, you've discussed this.
Instead of alerting the base, not doing anything, fucking sitting there. Okay, so then
They had to compose themselves before they relayed this information.
Right. So then shoot to the children. The children they're looking for their friend that disappeared 6 months ago. And now I say 6 months ago because this will be relevant in a little bit, in a couple episodes later. So they go to the movies because they're going to watch the last movie that he saw to maybe figure out where he was. What? Like, even a child would be like, that's a stupid. Why the fuck would we even think that? Why would that even point in the direction? We don't even know anything crazy is going on right now, but let's go watch a movie to figure out where this kid went. All right, we're going to do that. So they sit down and then they see the kid, Maddie, in the movie.
In the movie.
Yeah, in the movie on the TV. And they're like, Maddie, come here. Come out of the TV. Come on. Get out of there. What are you doing in the movie? Come on, get out of the movie. What? What the fuck? They have not watched. I think one of them had watched the movie, but I digress. Okay, I digress and I continue. So, baby demon pops out of the TV screen and starts attacking them. Whatever.
So that's Pennywise?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you don't see Pennywise until episode 5, where he makes a piss and fart joke and then gets scared by he does. He makes like a piss and fart joke, and then he sees a fucking ancient knife, and he's just like, run away, because now all the kids have plot armor now, even though it is a prequel to where they don't stop Pennywise, and there's a mass tragedy at the end of the season. So it's just like, now we got to save all these kids to kill them off at the mass tragedy at the end of the season. They're in the sewers, man, and Leroy sees his wife, and he knows that they think it's a. Okay, so we got to back up a little bit more. So the kids now know of the existence of Pennywise. They don't know that he's a clown or anything like that, but they know there's something demonic that's after him. So they go to the graveyard to get photo evidence that he exists. And they take a bunch of pictures of him being ghouls and stuff like that. CGI's ass, butt cheeks, fucking just buns. We didn't watch last night's episode. We're going to watch it later today. But yeah, it's like the point where my daughter can point out stuff. If my daughter, my 12-year-old, can point out bad writing in your show, it is bad. It is dog shit. Because a kid can really suspend belief to get anything. So they take a whole bunch of pictures. They go take it to the police chief. Guess what? He took himself out of all the pictures. Another thing about Derry is that when you leave Derry, you have no memory that you were in Derry. Like you forget of all your time in Derry, and which led me to be like, well, how the fuck did they know that there was Pennywise? How do they know there was this thing? If he can remove himself from evidence, if he can make you forget that he was there so conveniently in episode 5, because in episode 4, that's when I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. The writers obviously saw that. They saw that at some point and was like, fuck, well, we've written all this stuff. We don't want to go back and not write it. So the general of the army was like, yeah, I was a part of this study where they gave me a medicine, and the medicine made me remember memories that I couldn't remember anymore. So now I know all of this stuff. So we're going to forget about the super memory medicine that fucking makes you remember everything and makes you a super genius. We're going to fucking throw that to the side. They got that though. So that's how he figured out that there was a demon clown in Derry, and that he was, after remembering all these memories, able to relay this to whoever was running the test. And they were like, yes, we need to act upon this child seeing a clown monster and station everybody in there. Good. And I think he did it not even while he was like whatever sergeant or whatever. And it's just the show. It's so that like they want to obviously do the whole Stranger Things thing where we have a bunch of non-converging storylines that eventually meet up and people relay everything that they know. But every time that they split the story, like Charlotte has a story which is boring as fuck, a dog shit, but you have the most character building in that one. The one with the kids is just like they don't know what to do. They don't know what, everything is happening by happenstance. Like it just, oh, wow, this is the only way the plot moves forward is because of something accidentally happening.
See, I think that's the thing with most shows, though, is everything is so conveniently placed in front of, like, I mean, the ability for Dustin to just literally break down everything that's going on.
And be 100% right.
Every time.
That, if it wasn't for the good character building and then the actually good plot lines that they have, you could forgive a show for that shit. You know what I'm saying? At least there have been some things to kind of where Dustin could be like, well, if this must be the 5-star general, even though Vecna is the one kind of in control of everything. He thought, it was like the Mind Flayer's general or something like that. But he always does. But like episode 3, have it the Demogorgon, everything's figured out. And it's just like, oh, you were right. You can forgive shows for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the premise, like if the meat and potatoes of it is somewhat enticing, then yes. But that is one thing that I've noticed with pretty much every show is like I'm sorry, but in Last of Us, like they just happened to travel from fucking Boston all the way to Wyoming and run into his brother, and like all this stuff just falls into place. Like, how do you even get from fucking Boston to Wyoming? Like, A, with everything that's going on. B, I'm sorry, but like you're not going to be able to go down a highway. You're not going to be able to, like, you're just hoping that you're going to end up in the right direction.
What
so you're not
his brother to Wyoming?
I can't remember. I think he said like after him and Joel split, like he was in the Fireflies, but then ended up deciding to leave the Fireflies for some reason and ended up getting there. But the cool thing that I will say about that series though is they did a really good job. The first season has like a behind the scenes, but then every single episode of the second season has a behind the scenes. Right. So they talk about the character development and like the different things that they go through. And
that's
then
what HBO does once a show is popular.
Dude, it's like, fucking great.
I don't know if Welcome to Derry's got that yet. No, because the CGI is there's so many more things I want to talk about with this fucking stupid
I'm good.
show.
I'm good on Welcome to Derry.
Well, I'm just going to talk about one more thing, and then we can get into K-Dog's next.
K-Dog.
Yeah. So we got to talk about Pickle Dad.
Pickle Rick?
Pickle Dad.
Rick.
Pickle Dad. So the CGI is god awful. In the previous episode that we or episode 4, I think, or episode 5, I can't remember. I know we have to watch last night's episode. That might be episode 5, and the one we just watched was episode 4. But they have some soldiers. Now, Pennywise is notoriously known for going after your greatest fears. Mm-hmm. You got that? He goes after your fears. So there's 2 soldiers in the sewers scouting the place out when they hear something creepy coming down the tunnel. Guess what it is?
Pickle Rick.
Zombie Uncle Sam. That's their biggest fear, because he was like, I want you. And that's how he comes to the screen. The CGI is god awful, by the way. I want you. Pennywise was like, these soldiers' biggest fear is Uncle Sam. That's their biggest fear. So it was like just a terrible ghost Uncle Sam zombie flying at him. But Pickle Dad is our child protagonist, Lily. Her father was in a terrible accident, okay, at a pickle packing plant. And he got like ground up into a machine. And then, like, you know how kids are where they start rumors and stuff at school. So they started a rumor that, you know, a bunch of pickle jars went out with pieces of her dad in it. So that's how she imagines Pennywise when she's grocery shopping, is there's a bunch of pickles, they all fall on the ground, and then it comes together to form Pickle Dad, which does not look like a pickled dad. Honestly, it just looks like a blob monster with tentacles and stuff like that. But he keeps popping up on the show, and it's terrible CGI. I don't know why the first time they did Pickle Dad, they was like, fuck, we got to do Pickle Dad again. That's just genius, right? It's a terrible fucking show. And the only reason I watch it is because it's just like, oh, I'm a fan of it. But it's like, they try so hard to make me not a fan of Stephen King's It. Stephen King tried it himself too. He was like, look, in the book, there was a child orgy right before they go into the sewers.
What?
Yeah. Oh, dude, there were so many instances. So in the junkyard, Patrick Hofstadter and God damn it, Henry, Patrick just gets down on his knees and starts blowing them. You know, just two young teenage boys just doing some just gay shit in a fucking scrapyard.
He was woke way before woke was a thing.
No, it's not that. He really regrets putting that in there. But I think it's a thing of like, I don't know what he was thinking about with the losing their virginity, because they gangbang Beverly right before they go into right before they head up into them sewers to fight Pennywise.
What? That was probably written in like the 70s and 80s, right? Like,
yeah, where, you know, gangbanging children, children gangbanging each other.
No, where it was the, sexual revolution where people were just fucking left and right. Like, I've talked to one of the guys that I worked with at the factory. He was definitely gay, but he's like, we just fucked. Didn't matter who it was, what it was. Like, we just would all get together and it would just be guys, girls, everybody like just fucking going for it.
From The Office. He was like, we did a lot of raves and stuff like that, and we'd be in the mud having sex, and if a guy or two slipped in there, how would you know?
That's pretty much the way that he broke it down. That's what the 70s were to him.
All right, so we're gonna get into K-Dog story. I'm sorry I had a vent about. There's so many more things. We need to. That's what we need to do though. Is I need to fucking bring down a fucking list. You need to watch it. You need to watch it so you could just be like, whoa, what the fuck?
You didn't watch that shitty ass War of the Worlds that I told you.
What's crazy though is that anything that talks shit about it does not, like, there's no news articles, nothing. It's got terrible reviews and everybody's like shitting on it. But like none of the big, and that's what I'm saying. Now we're in times where everything's paid off by HBO, but they don't have to put down this is sponsored by us, because it's obvious HBO's like, we put a fuck ton of money into this. Please, God, watch this. Please watch it. We know how dog shit it is, so they're not allowing people to really talk shit about the show. It's god awful.
So now we're canceled.
And then they're going to follow the same cycle too, because after this season, guess what? It's a prequel of season 1. This one takes place in, I think this is supposed to be the 1956 tragedy. So then we go into the 1920s, and then after that is 1908 and that's how the 3 seasons are going to go. Each one's a prequel that you have to build new characters on now. And they're not good at building characters, so they're going to have to rely on this terrible CGI and Pennywise doing creepy Pennywise stuff, even though the shit that he's already doing is dog shit, so... But everybody in that fucking Reddit was just like, the show is, because I would break down why I didn't think the show was good. And I was saying, hey, I'm very optimistic for it to turn around. And people would be like, well, you're just an asshat, dude, for thinking this. And I'm like, oh, good rebuttal to my fucking, like, that's another thing. We do a Reddit podcast, and I talk about how much I'm on Reddit. Redditors are fucking dumbasses. If they form into a community, they have the worst takes on things fucking humanly possible. All right. So it says, am I the asshole for being concerned about my wife's pregnancy? I don't know what he's concerned about. Is he concerned that it's his? Is he concerned about her health? Let's get into it. First, a few episodes ago, you talked about having guests on either MADHD or Two Daddies Judging Baddies. And you mentioned probably Two Daddies Judging Baddies because that's what the other Reddit podcasts do, I think. I wouldn't know. I've never listened to them and don't even know who they are. I just like to vote on that. Definitely have guests on MADHD if you can, but I think people like Two Daddies Judging Baddies so much it's different than the others. We all want to hear the opinions and judgments and tangents from the two of you, not some other douchebag. I have also thought of it. I looked this up and people were like, for something that kind of has its place and it does its own thing, you don't really need guests. I just saw Val from fucking, I think that's his name, from Impractical Jokers, the one that everybody likes. That I think
Sal.
Sal. There you go. The only one that hasn't gotten to like weird sexual stuff.
Yeah.
He was on Too Hot Takes, and I was like, we can never compete. Fuck. Hey, Megan, I added you on Instagram. Just to be like, hey, you want some? And then she like looks at this. She's like, I don't fucking want, you can't. I'd have to put plastic on my couch for you to come. Like, Dylan can come. Michael cannot. But yeah, them, read it on Wiki. I can't remember the other ones, but I was just like, yeah, networking.
We could do it.
Dear Megan, I wrote you still ain't calling. Second, I plan on submitting a lot. Gonna make sure you got something to do, so you could just refer to me as K-Dog. I never cared for it, but that's what my classmates in college called me. And even though none of the people I work with were in college with me, they also call me K-Dog. All right, so you started that one in the workplace. You can't, unless your name was like Kev Doggerson, like, then that's why people would call you K-Dog. Kev Doggerson, that's your name? Yeah, I'm going to call you K-Dog. That sounds like K-Dog. That's the only plausible way I could find two separate people calling you K-Dog. It just feels like, you're at work and you're like, yeah, but people call me K-Dog. Why is everybody calling me K-Dog? I don't get it. Like, I don't really like it. But yeah, I'm K-Dog.
You can call me that.
Yeah, but you can call me that. Yeah, I'm cool with it. Which confuses me because I'm white. Why can't you be K-Dog as white?
Sounds racist.
That sounds racist, yeah. And I know the two of you disagree on this, so I'll put my 2 cents in. College was a waste of time and money, and I should have went to work right away. I don't disagree on that. But I digress, and we'll continue. Now on to the story. My wife is pregnant, which you should know from the title unless you're a dipshit. The first ultrasound they saw, she had low-lying placenta, whatever the hell that means, but it might be premature and she might need a C-section. Okay, whatever shit happens. But then a few days later, and they call and ask if she should come back for another ultrasound, or they call and ask if she could come back for another ultrasound because they couldn't get all the images they wanted the first time, which worried me. At that point, we hadn't told anybody about the baby yet, but I decided to ask my mom, who has worked in the medical field for over 40 years and at one point worked for an OGBYN, if they really meant they just didn't get the images, or if they mean they found something and they didn't like, and saying they didn't get enough images was just them saying what they need to say to make you not worry. Well, my wife randomly went through my phone and read the messages. Going through the phone, I was about to say, that should be the part that bothers you.
What? Going through the phone?
Yeah. Going through my phone doesn't bother me. She does it from time to time because the discussions me and my friends and brother can be quite crude and funny and very ADHD-ish. Plus, I got nothing to hide. Anyways, back to the story. She was all pissed because I told my mom she was pregnant and asked my mom about what the doctor said instead of her first. I said, you were literally the first person I talked to, considering you're the one that told me they want you to come back in. Big argument took place, and she didn't talk to me like for 3 or 4 days because she's nuts or something. She's a little crazy about you, brother. Which, I mean, to an extent, is all right. Look, it's all right as long as she, y'all obviously laying it down together. So, all for being concerned. I don't like it when she's pissed at me for no reason, but the peace and quiet is always nice. So, am I the asshole? Definitely not the asshole. You confide it in your mom, who was in the medical field. You're worried.
Yeah, I still think you discuss it with your wife before you do that, though.
Yeah, because I mean,
like, nobody knows,
right?
And so basically, you just told your mom, and she hasn't told anybody, and so it's kind of one of those things of like, are we telling people? If you would have came to her and said, "Hey, I'm really," or like, "I want to know what the deal is behind this,"
that's very.
Can I talk to mom and just run it by her and see her if we should be concerned about anything? But you don't just go to mom and be like, "Hey, mom, we're pregnant."
With medical advances too, like they can spot when something's wrong with the child. So if they're like, hey, this baby's going to have cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, pretty much just going to exist in a wheelchair screaming all day because it doesn't know where it's at. Do you want to terminate the pregnancy? And you have to go through with that. Some people are going to be like, you monsters. You subject that child to a life of just being in pain and screaming and just like whatever it's looking at is the only thing, like black wall. You know what I'm saying? Some people would be like, you're a horrible person. And sure, you tell your mom, but what if your mom tells her friend and her friend's like a big church person? And she asks about the baby later on and she's like, oh, well, all this stuff happened. And then it just starts this big old thing. And it's yes, because you went outside of, you and your wife didn't want to tell anybody right now. And then you went and told somebody. So it can create this whole big thing. It is crazy though, how Doctors will be like, ma'am, you will die. You will die if you have this child. Like, we looked at your fucking fallopian tubes and shit, and it's just like, you will die definitely. And there's a lawmaker out there that's like, nope, God, God. Which, look, guys, let's not be irrational here. God, sky guy, no. I get so pissed when a Republican says, and I'm sorry, Republicans, I'll shit on Democrats later. When a Republican's like, we need to stop going by politics and start going by God. And it's just like, all your politics are created because of shit that you think is in the Bible. And then you tell your constituents, even if it's not in the Bible, you'd be like, that's in the Bible. That's there somewhere. If you look, and what a better book to do that on. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I walked around and told people, like, yeah, I really like the part in Harry Potter where Harry and Hermione had sex, and someone would be like, that's not, it's definitely in there.
It's in there. You just have to, you have to read
Yes, I read it because it's very interesting.
You have to read the context of this situation. They didn't come out and say it, but if you break this down, so
everybody you talk about like that with that will be like, I read the same book, and it's not, you can't even get that in from contextuals in there. Versus someone that's like, I have never picked that fucking thing up. I had like, a Bible in the house, and sometimes we looked at it, and then sometimes we'd be like, ooh, in a house fire, that would never burn, even though it will. But it's like, you get the most boring fucking literature, and you could just be like, that's in there contextually. And the people are just like, well, I'm going to just believe you wholeheartedly, because if I don't believe you, as a child, I was told I would burn in a lake of fire, so I'm too scared to not believe you. And that thing's so fucking boring. I mean, there's literally, when you open the book up, you get like a little bit of a story, and then you go through like 9 pages of begates and begots. I couldn't get through the fucking first story they told me, so I can only imagine how boring that thing is. I'm just going to believe you wholeheartedly because I ain't reading this fucking thing.
They say it goes down in history as the best story that's ever been told.
Who does?
Every Christian you'll ever talk to.
It's not, though. There's no suspense. There's no character building. There's a lot of directional pieces in there. There's a lot of, you kind of get, a lot of the stories sometimes spoil themselves by going into like the morality of the story first before actually doing like the story and shit like that. And a lot of the stories, honestly, they get broken up by useless quotes that kind of shouldn't be there. You know what I'm saying? That really have no contextual usages outside of a magical deity that is constantly intervening in the situations, but then chooses not to when the existence of phones come out. Like imagine like Daniel and the lions, okay? And then imagine Jordan, or what is his name? Jordan Peterson, who's now battling these horrible sicknesses and stuff like that. Imagine.
Wait, he's supposed to be battling sicknesses?
He's dying. Like in real life, he's dying.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's got some kind of illness. But imagine like a video of him, and he just starts glowing, and it's just like you hear a voice that's like, "I heal you." Sold. I'm on board now. This is what the fuck I like, but it just doesn't happen like that.
No, because it needs to be a mystery, and you need to have faith.
Which, look, and there are Christians out there too that are just like fucking normal people. And it's just really, you get into these like emasculate, like people who feel like they're emasculated because they're just not masculine. And so they'll be like, women think you're a bitch, and then he'll be like, oh, I'm a bitch or whatever. And then you got, Jordan Peterson and your Andrew Tates that's like, no, you're a man, and men and man stuff, and it's the revolution of men. And it's just like, bro, unless you're a bitch, it's always been the revolution of goddamn man. Like, we have throughout history ran the goddamn table. You know what I'm saying? We have always been, look at all the presidents, pretty much all the prominent people are fucking dudes. And you get one Andrew Tate that's just like, well, you don't get any pussy, do you? He's like, I don't. And it's because women are starting this movement where they don't want men to. And then it'll be those same guys who will be like, the fucking weird gooners and shit. And it's just like, I don't know what's happening.
Well, see, I think that it's, I'm always, shades of gray, because it's not one or the other. I do think that there is a lot of emasculating happening, but it's like self-induced, and it doesn't matter whether you're right or left. Like, it happens on both sides. And it's a thing where men need to get their shit together as just people, rather than like man versus woman. Like, it's you need to, like, because for the longest time, yes, men ruled the world, but also that's when fucking fathers were going out to get milk and not coming back, fucking having kids all over town and being shit stains, and
right.
And so there's men need to step up and just look at it as being a better person, period. Being a better man comes with that.
Right.
But like, be a better fucking human. And ultimately, that's what religion is supposed to be there for. But I think a lot of people use it as a crutch to be like, well, God will forgive me. Well, I'm not perfect. Adam and Eve, that's my problem.
When they find those secluded like villages and stuff like that, and you go down there and everybody's like super friendly towards like new people, and they're like, oh wow, look at these guys, and it's just like, well, God, and it's like, no God, and it's like, well, you guys don't kill each other. It's like, killing's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, to kill a fucking, look at this person who thinks and has thoughts and stuff.
You need
like
the
that.
Bible in order
But
to not
they'll be
kill
like,
people.
no, you need the Bible to know not to kill somebody. Well,
Savages.
that's crazy because in the history of man, the Bible has not existed that long. So before then, it was just like, bro, you couldn't even walk outside. You
And
just
can be
stabbed up.
directly through history shown that it's killed more people than most anything, because the amount of pillaging and crusading and all that stuff that's
what I think
happened.
It's building to, though, because that's what I think it is building to. It's just like, hey, you got a bunch of lazy people. You got a bunch of lazy theists, and that's the stupidest shit. Like, you could be a theist or you could be an atheist, and you could be agnostic, whatever. But don't try to shove your shit down people's throat and be lazy about it. Like, I don't go up there and be like, man, I hate gays because the Bible's, and it's like, exactly what part? And
How long did they talk about that? Did they talk about that a lot?
Right,
is that a big piece of the Bible?
Yeah, because the first thing they throw up is, the fucking Sodom and Gomorrah. And they'll be like, well, and I'll be like, well, are you talking about like the gang rape or the raping of angels and stuff like that? And they'll be like, son, I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. And it's like, I know. What book is it in? And they'll just be like,
they'll give you a line.
the book of Sodom and Gomorrah, dumbass. The Sodom and Gomorrah, chapter 10, verse 19. That's where they talk about it. And it's just like, you've not, and there's just like this, stop being a lazy theist. Don't be a lazy atheist. That's what I can't stand either. It's just like, and that's the problem with atheists too, is they'll just be like, wow, you believe in God? And it's just like, well, what science do you have? Like, if you're going to, like, it's always the stupidest shit. It's like, you look at, like, on Facebook, and I know the comment section is not how you should judge people, but look at a comment section where it's just like, I thank God every day that my kids got out of that fire. And you just go, God didn't save no kids from a fire. What are you doing? God wasn't there. Wow, you believe in magical sky fairy. It's like, well, why do you not believe in it? And I understand that because it's always the concept of something had to create God, because we can't understand through the man constructed time aspect. You can't think of anything that exists beyond those parameters of time and space.
Well, I mean, it's a very strong argument, though. If you say something can't be created from nothing, something had to be. Like, you can't just all of a sudden have a beginning. Like, you can't, and there's got to be something. So it's a very valid argument, right? Because you can't just, what the fuck is God doing prior to creating the heavens and the earth? But I think the one thing, you have a lot of lazy atheists that just want to be, I mean, it's the same thing. It's the problem with like the woke culture. It's not a problem that people want gay rights. It's not a problem that people want, equality for women. It's not a problem that, racial equality. None of this stuff is a problem. It's the way that certain people go about it and then make the whole thing a shit show for everybody else. So the same thing with atheism. You have a lot of atheists that have come from religion and know it better than the fucking people that they're arguing about. And so you have this book laid out, and you can find the holes and the ways that this doesn't make sense, the plot holes in the whole thing. And so you have the really good ones. But then the vast majority are just like, oh, you're stupid, you believe in God. Like, and those people are the lazy people. And that's what happened with the LGBTQ people. That's happened with, racial issues. The only real
difference is, though, is like, theists, lazy theists, when you get the bad version of them, people start dying.
Yeah.
Like that's that's
because they're righteous.
Completely illogical. It's like, well, if a rapist rapes a woman, you can't abort that, but you got to have that rapist baby. If that baby is going to kill the mother and probably kill the baby, you got to have it because God. And so I think it's just dangerous when a theist is a lazy theist. A lazy atheist is just annoying.
Yes.
It's just an asshat. Yes. Like, you could just be like, that person's a douchebag. when you got people talking about the fucking microaggressions and shit, you need to learn. And like this world is a fucking, we're all just holding hands singing Kumbaya.
And that's the only thing you have to concern yourself with is just the newest fucking social issue that we need. That's all you have to worry about.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about paying your bills, taking care of your kids, feeding, like none of that stuff. You don't have to worry about the other atrocities.
Than the next person. That fulfills your duty as a human being.
Yeah.
You don't have to partake in society. But yeah, when you get like that real, just when you get a bunch of lazy theists together.
Well, when you have world leaders that are lazy theists, like I'm sorry, but our president that is not a fucking Christian for no intents and purposes. Like he is not a fucking Christian man at all. Like nobody can fight me on that. Like he is not. He says the words to rile up the base of the religious right. That's the only thing that he does.
That reminds me of the Family Guy. 9/11.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And that's what he does. And I'm sorry if anybody is offended by that. But the thing is you cannot say that he has regularly attended church throughout his whole life and the gospel has dictated how he's went about his things in life. He's a fucking adulterer. He fucks over every single person that he's ever done business with. Like he
sucked a dick.
And he sucked a dick.
Which is, look, sucking a dick is okay. If you're a dude, Michael Wright says it's okay to suck a dick. All right. It is not okay to talk shit about people who suck dicks and other dudes that suck dicks when you yourself have sucked a dick. And the funniest thing is and there are a lot of Republicans too that don't like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
There's a fuck ton of them.
Now,
there's a lot of people now that just don't like Donald Trump. The funniest thing is the ones that are still on board when he was like, oh, I'm going to sign this thing so it all gets released. And then they're like, fuck yeah, we're going to know the truth. We're getting the truth now too. Understand? Like this is all part of these documents. It's like, well, no. This is made up. But this other stuff that the Democrats are in, that's good. No, it's all real.
No.
It's all real. And at the same time, you can hate the Republicans that are on there whilst hating the Democrats. Democrats can hate the Democrats and hate the Republicans on there. You can just hate the people that are on there.
That are fucking sexual predators.
Understand that your president was double pumping somebody's fucking cock while having a child at his fucking place in Mar-a-Lago. What a time to be alive, man. That is just the...
Well, the craziest part is that people try to find excuses. Like, you should not attach yourself to a politician so much
where you love him.
Well, it's like you with Hopper on fucking Stranger Things. Like, you don't have to love him as an actor, like as a human, to still love what the character was created in the show.
Right.
But like so many people get so bought into who he was on the show that they associate that all of he is that, and it's not. And like, so you might like Donald Trump's policies, that's fine. But the second that you are a Trump person instead of a Republican that voted for Trump because he's the Republican candidate, as soon as you are a Trump person, you have now tied yourself to that. And now you have to try to act like all this stuff isn't real when it fucking is.
My thing is and look at this too, like think about all the people that are tied with like MAGA and shit like that. I can't stand Marjorie Taylor Greene, but guess what? That bitch loves America. Like her thing, like when she talks about make America great, in her mind, this is what, like she is America first. She wants to make America better. And these are things that she actually believes in, instead of someone like Donald Trump, who's like, that's the reason I just like, he's just a weasel. Like he's a fucking weasel because he's like, I don't care about making America great. I care about saying the things that are going to get me votes. That's why as soon as he went off on his whole weird shit, Marjorie Taylor Greene was like, whoa, I don't fucking like this guy because she is she is American.
Well,
like,
and that's what we
Marjorie
should
Taylor
be.
Greene, she would bleed red, white, and blue. You know what I'm saying? But that's her ideas. Her ideas, no, it doesn't matter how it sounds to you as a Democrat. Her ideas, she believes what she is doing is putting America in a better position. And this is going to sound weird as fuck now, coming from Mike, okay? But that's who we need. We need people, we need Democrats and Republicans who are like, hey, their policies might not be correct. The things that they are doing might not be right. But they need to say, hey, I'm doing this not for votes, but for the good of this country.
Well, and that's what it used to be, that there was compromises, there was like deals that were being made. And now it is so staunchly, I'm a Republican or I'm a Democrat. And it's no longer what matters for America and what way you think America is going to move forward. It's simply, this is what everybody on the right believes. This is the way that I got to vote. This is what everybody on the left believes. This is what I'm going to vote for. And that's where it's completely went sideways over the past, like basically since I've been alive, since Bill Clinton time, probably even back to like Ronald Reagan and shit. But it became no longer about America and doing what's best for the American people. It became, I'm a Republican, you're a Democrat, we can't get along.
I mean, just think about, you know, how long ago would that have been? Ooh, 17 years since fucking John McCain and Barack Obama. And Barack Obama telling people not to, he's like, don't attack his character. He loves America. And that's ultimately what we believe in. Is we just don't have that anymore.
We disagree on policy, not on...
Everything's all about the snark now. Yeah. Snarking the other side, really getting them with their fucking insults, snarking them hard. And this is why our side's the best, because we could snark the other side. I don't know. I think that...
don't bring two daddies into this.
Right, yeah. I think that if you just, I don't know, love one another and you both want the best for your country instead of looking better than the other side, that's how change is created. But God damn it, we always get into politics on this fucking show. Guys, listen, you have learned about
nothing.
Welcome to Derry.
Nothing
About politics. Just me and Dylan angrily yell. Old man yells at, yeah, that's who we are, man. It's like, old man yelling, fucking meme and shit like that. But we love you guys and we will see you next time.
Later.